So once again, if I should proceed with my class, please kindly type 22 in the chat room. And my voice is loud and clear. Please kindly type 22 in the chat room. If my voice is loud and clear and I can proceed, please kindly type 22 in the chat room. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. So since there is no question, let's proceed. Introduction. Like I said, this is one of the most used phrase. We have people talking a lot. They will tell you talk is cheap. But at the moment and at the age we are, not anymore. A well-organized, thoughtful talk makes many people a very lucrative wage. And we have different kinds of public speeches today in form of formal public speeches like lectures, trainings, coaching, mentoring, and all of that. We also have comic forms of public speeches where you have comedy, stand-up comedy, okay, several others, okay. So words have incredible power. They can make people's hearts soar, or they can make people's hearts soar. And that was said by Dr. Marty Groth, a psychologist and author of Problem Bosses, Dealing with Difficult Colleagues, England, 1996. And from the screen, we will see some professional, famous public speakers that have existed in time past. All right, now, we are currently in the information age. Some say jet age, some say information age, but I think we are still in the information age. So virtually, there's nothing you want to tell people that they cannot access through the internet. So before you could get people's attention in this present era, you really must have something valuable to say. You must have made a nice mix of the different information available perhaps on the internet and different other sources for people to sit down and listen to you. I'll repeat this again. We are in the information age, and there is nothing you actually want to tell someone right now that he or she has not or does not have access to via the internet. So for us to be able to get people's attention in this present era, what it simply means is that we must have had a very nice meal, a very nice cook, a very nice mix of information, well crafted, that could solve problems, particular problems, for people to be able to sit down and listen to us. Else, you could just be a public speaker and then you just going down on a daily basis. So that means for us to be effective public speakers, research and development remains critical to our profession as public speakers. All right. Okay, so you see some of the people there. Now, can we use the chat room? Can you type at least, apart from the ones we are seeing here, can you type at least from your own country, from your own location? Can you type at least one famous public speaker that you think is making waves in your own area? One famous public speaker that you think is doing well. Can you type at least one? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Engineer Ahmed. Okay. So can we have more people? People that you think are doing well as professional public speakers. Hope I don't find it difficult to remember one. Okay, so someone said Professor Oshibanjo. Thank you. It mustn't be a prof. Okay. So can we have another person? Let me have at least 5%. 5%. So I have John C. Maswell. Thank you so much. Wonderful fellow. Another person. Another person that is doing so well as a public speaker. He has become a voice. The person has become a voice such that if people just hear, oh, this person is calling for a meeting, they will be willing to attend. If this person says, okay, I'm going to visit so place, others will be willing to visit him. People are ready to read what he's saying. People are ready to sit under what he or she is saying. I need at least 2 more persons. 2 more persons. Right, Tracy? Okay. Samadeyemi, all right, thank you. So, Pius Oheme Piero. Okay, who is Piero? Okay, Lumumba, okay. Okay. So all of these people we mentioned are doing well in their own faith, and they are making a whole lot. So we hear, okay, you see, Poju, in my own area, I could mention people like David Oyedeko. I could mention people like Felado Otoye. I could mention people like P2B. P2B is a very good public speaker. You can disagree or agree with me, but he's a very good public speaker. And it is because of his effectiveness in public speech that is pulling the crowd, is pulling today in the political dynasty of Nigeria. P2B is doing well publicly. If every other politician in Nigeria will be as influential through public speech as P2B, we might even have conflict on who is more competent or not. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he's good in public speech. And that's why he's able to get all this followership and all of that. Now, you also have several of them. And in this class, I now have a good number of them. So I have Dr. David, Dr. Joseph Oluwaseyi David is a good public speaker. I have Professor Ifoma. She's a good public speaker. At least she taught me for 5 years in school, and she made impact. And there is no day she will say she's having a class and you don't dare not come to class. Okay. Okay. All right. And we have several others here who are public speakers. Some are speaking to a crowd less than 50. Some are speaking to a crowd more than 50. Okay. So whichever position we find ourselves now, we can do better and do more. So let's move on. Now, in public speaking, or public speaking rather, this is basically what you want to build. Number one, you want to find your niche. Hey, let me be very sincere with you. Until you find your niche, nobody will listen to you. Until you find your niche, nobody will listen to you. Until you find your niche, nobody will listen to you. Hey, God, listen to me. Until you find your niche, nobody will listen to you. What's the difference between a basket mouth on the stage collecting tens of millions and the person by the bar collecting slaps and mockery? What's the difference? The difference is just identifying your niche and working on it. All right? Identifying your niche and working on it. So identify your niche. Until you identify your niche, you don't even have the capacity to work on anything. You won't be able to develop. Until you identify your niche, you will just be like doing a merry-go-round kind of engagement, you know. Until you identify your niche, public speaking is not yet for you. So I want you to type in the chat room, just type niche for me. In the chat room, just type niche. Just type niche. Niche. So until you identify your niche, no movement for you. All right. Let me be very candid with you. You see, Continuous professional development becomes fun if you already know a niche that you're working on, you're working in, you're working with, you're working for. So whichever English word that best suits the description of what I'm trying to say, just catch it. But until you find your niche, you'll just be wearing beautiful clothes up and down. Okay, but there will be no impact. Your voice will not be heard. Okay, your voice will not be heard. Every professional public speaker is not a generalist. There is no professional speaker that is a generalist. We all have our different niches. Okay, so today Peter is talking about politics. He doesn't dare come to talk about religion. He doesn't dare come to talk about technology. He doesn't dare come to, people will not listen to him if he comes to talk about religion today, or if he comes to talk about technology. They will not listen to him. They will say, this guy, you've left where we know you. Okay. Now, if maybe people like Samadeh leaves religion, leadership, business, as it were, and maybe they start talking about some things that are off the track, people will not listen to them. They will only get for themselves some form of insult, some form of distractions and the like. So we all must know what? We all must know our niche. We all must know our niche. We all must know our niche. And there's something about your niche. When you know your niche, it's easy to expand on your niche. Okay, it's easy to expand. When you know your niche, it's easy to expand on your niche. I'll repeat this again. When you know your niche and you start working on it, it's easy to expand on your niche. It's easy to expand on your niche. When you know your niche and you're working on it, it's easy to expand on your niche. All right, that's very, very important. Now, the next thing there is developing value. It is because of words without value that we say talk is cheap. When a word becomes valuable, when a word is targeted to solving a problem, when a word is targeted to meeting people's needs, it becomes valuable, it becomes indispensable, and people are willing to pay for it. People only pay for value, right? People only pay for what? For value. People only pay for value. So when you discover your niche, obviously you know that you're going there to solve a problem, not just to give a speech, not just to go and talk. You're going there to solve a problem by your speaking, by your involvement through public speaking. Okay, that's very, very important. All right. Some people's public speaking engagement leads to advocacy. Some people's public speaking engagement lead to peace building. Some people's public speaking engagement lead to capacity development. Some people's public speaking engagement lead to poverty alleviation. Some people's public speaking engagement lead to leadership development, capacity development, like what we do in IPM. Some people's public speaking engagement lead to good governance. Some people's public speaking engagement lead to inclusiveness in corporate governance. Some people's public speaking engagement leads to a better world, environmental safety, people safety, security, and all of that. So there must be value you're providing. If not, you just be me, myself, and I kind of speaker, right? You just know that you're the one that know that you're a speaker. Every other person doesn't know. Okay, very, very important. So what do you think is the area you want to focus on in value creation? Can you type in the chat room in one word? Please don't make it more than one word. One word. Which area do you think? Okay, make it 2 words, maximum 2 words. Which area do you think you want to create value in as a public speaker? Not what I'm saying, what you have discovered for yourself or you will discover for yourself. Which area do you want to go to? Can you type in 1 word or maximum 2? Let me see you. So someone said political communication. All right. Someone said training. Thank you. So which other one? Okay, if your own is more than 1 word, you can make it 3. Chemical luminaries. Okay. Can I get two more? Can I get two more? So someone says stage, okay? Just one more, and then we'll move. Human development, all right. So we must all mentoring, wonderful. We must all know which area we build value on. You know, I just saw something now, and it's very, very, it's something that we most neglect, especially in human capital development. And that is the aspect of mentoring, coaching and mentoring. Someone just mentioned that now. We've been paying frequent visits to the office of the head of civil service of the Federation, and we've been interfacing with this office, the Department of Leadership, Management, and Succession Planning. And I once asked the director, I said, what do people do here? He said, capacity development. Apart from capacity development, all the ones that have been developed, the assignment is to mentor them. I was like, wow, so government has a mentorship department. Yes. So the head of service has a mentorship department, mentorship for leaders at strategic levels, at operational levels, tactical levels, at all the levels. Okay, so if you are at this point, you're discovering mentoring as an opportunity, you might be in for something big, very, very big. All right, you might be in for something big. All right. I'm not saying every other one is not it's not part of it. It's not like caught my attention. But every other thing mentioned here is actually, they are all big, bigger than we can ever imagine. Okay, bigger than ever imagine. For instance, someone that said human development, similar to training and development. It could look as though it's just about developing materials and going to stand in front of people to teach. But by the time you get into it, you find out that you are carrying out national programs, you're carrying out continental and transcontinental programs that with time, you might not even have time to eat 3 times in a day. You might not actually have time to eat once in a day. That's just the truth. So every assignment you think you are going to go into by virtue of public speaking, it is something that is wide and big enough. I think it was in June, we had this program for, we had this leadership development course for public servants, okay? And I know some of them are here today. Now, part of your retirement program, for those of us in public speech, those of us in public service, should be towards consulting, should be towards human capital development, should be towards mentoring, should be towards coaching. And this kind of order of program is key for your own prospective use. Okay, continually building capacity towards public speaking is very, very important. All right, very, very important. Okay, then another thing we have there is brand or branding. Brand. Perception is value. In public speech, perception is value. You know, there is this saying that what people say about you doesn't matter. What matters most is what you know and say about yourself. God have mercy. Please throw that to the trash. Perception in public speech, perception on its own is value. In fact, in public speech, the higher your perception, the higher your value. And that's why people talk about packaging, all right? And when I talk about perception here, I don't really mean just your dressing or your dress mode or your speech mode and the likes. No. Being deliberate on building positive brand is key, very much key to your development and acceptance as a public speaker. Very, very important. Very, very important. Now, let me tell you an example of perception. When you come to training in IPM, one of the things you give us is just perception. You give us the opportunity for people to perceive us in the right way of what we're doing. If we're doing something good, you tell them, yes, IPM is doing something good. If we're not doing good, you also tell them IPM is not doing good. How do you do that? All those reviews you leave for us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and all of that, you are only giving us perception. All right, you're helping people to see how to view us. Okay, how to view IP. In the same way, as a public speaker, you must be deliberate on building brand, building your perception, because that is actually what brings in the money to you. If you have positive perception, people are ready to come and see what you have to say. If you have negative perception, you are off the market. You are off the market. Off you go. Okay, very, very important. So I want you to type in the chat room. Can you type perception? Type it in capital letters. Perception, 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 perception. Can you type that in capital letters? Perception, perception. Yeah. Perception is key. Perception is value. Perception is like the currency you need in public speaking industry. Perception, perception. That's your number one raw material. Perception. Okay, perception. Perception. Very, very important. All right. So be deliberate on building your what? Your perception. Okay, and the cheapest way, listen to me, the cheapest way to building perception is through knowledge, continuous professional development. I would have actually stopped at 1, 2, 3 because those are like the most important things, but I had to take some extra step down. Continuous professional development. Continuous professional development. One thing I've enjoyed from members of IPM at all levels is that they love learning. I love IPM members. They love learning. You can tell them today that, sorry, we just have a training. No. Is on how to put your bulb and remove your bulb. And you tell them the importance at that point. You'll be so shocked the number of people that will turn out. Because why? These people, they are into what they are doing, not because of certificate or what have you. They are into it because of practice. They value knowledge. And for all IPM members, I don't my cap for you people. You are doing well. Well done work. Now, continuous professional development does not mean anything that comes across your way, just go into it. No, when you discover your niche, it will be easier for you to know which kind of courses, which kind of workshops, programs, seminars, symposia, you'll be willing to attend, what kind of books you'll be willing to read. Okay, so your niche is the major driving force. As soon as you discover your niche, you know the area you want to focus in and the problem you want to solve in that area, then you develop solutions, you develop value to meeting those problems. It is at that point of value development and value delivery that you get return on investment. Okay, some of us spent years, we spent years in trying to build value around ourselves, first personal value, right? And then being able to now deliver this value to others to get return on investment. I must tell you the truth, and I lie not. I spent about 8 solid years on personal development before I could actually come out for the first time to talk. 8 solid years. Yes, 8 solid years. Yeah, it was 8 years I spent. I did courses upon courses, trainings upon trainings, read books upon reading, and different things I was doing then. But 8 years after, we're able to, it's okay, let's go and try this. But do you know, whatever thing I spent 8 years before I started delivering value, within my first 2-3 years of my involvement in my own area of diligence, I've recovered more than 1 million times of whatever thing I invested within the first 2-3 years. So when you spend time building value and the value is targeted at defined problems, you're definitely to have return on investment. But if you leave reading, you live your life by reading, attending seminars, doing different things without having a definition of why you are doing those things. At the end of the day, you might end up becoming one of those public speakers that people will say motivational speakers. They speak and they don't do what they say. No. All right. So first of all, discovering our needs grants us that guided role of having to get the right thing at the right time, and also knowing when to launch. Very, very important. And then the other one is networking. As a public speaker, you should know that your market doesn't really sell like tomatoes and eggs. Your market sells essentially by network. I am seeing double W in the network. Please, I'm only making use of one. Please kindly keep one of the W for yourself. You need it. All right. So our market does not sell like tomatoes and pizza. Our market does not sell like crayfish and onions. Our market sells basically through networking. All right. And that's why, as a public speaker, you must always carry your tools with you, especially your business card, wherever you go to. So you have opportunity of meeting you give your business card. You even in religious environment, give your business card. All right. Your market is just everywhere, but it's just that you can't just keep your market like tomatoes and garlic that people normally buy. No, you need to create a network of people that can help you make the most of your public speaking engagement. And please, let me tell you something. You must be deliberate on building quality network. I think this is my second time of saying this in a class this year. We must be, I think I said it in business development class here. You must be deliberate in building quality network. And for those of us in public service, you already have quality network, so you must be deliberate in managing it. You must be deliberate in managing it. Some of us in public service, that gives us the opportunity to build quality networks, especially some of us already at the directorate level. You've met different caliber of people. You must be deliberate in networking. You must be deliberate in relationship building. Deliberate in relationship building. Deliberate in relationship building. Very, very important. And then the next one is leverage. Leverage. As a public speaker, you should understand the power of leverage. And what do we mean by leverage? Leverage is simply using the things available to you to make the most of the opportunities to you. So if we talk about leverage in a time as this, you leverage on your network of people, you leverage on the technology, you leverage on internet, you leverage on your social networks, your social relationship with people. By all means, just make sure you are taking the leverage. All right, taking what the leverage. Just make sure someone knows exactly what you're doing. Tell someone what you're doing. Let that person tell someone, and let that one tell someone. Use your social media to propagate what you're doing. All right, create a page. Of course, we will get to that point. We'll show you exactly how to make money from public speech. Okay, we can only show you, we'll not drive that for you. So we'll show you how to make money via public speeches. And if you're good to go and ready to go, and you want to make money via public speech, then by the end of this class, you should be able to, within the next 90 days to 120 days, you should be able to start making something for yourself using leverage, right? Using leverage. All right. Now, there are some things I left here intentionally, introduction. Now, part of the things as a public speaker you must pay attention to is finding a coach or a mentor. Finding a coach or a mentor. Finding a coach or a mentor. Finding a coach or mentor. My life as a person, I struggled You know, I told you it took me like 8 years before I could come out and say I'm doing it in public speech. Now, when I even came out to public speech, it took me like 5 to 7 years. Yeah, about, okay, let me say about three to 5 years. Yeah, about 3 to 5 years before I could start getting rest. And my rest started when I met my first mentor. And I now discovered that I was just leveraging on my mentor to get to get access to the market. Do you get what I just said now? I was just leveraging on my mentors to get access to the market. Leveraging on my mentors to get access to the market. Leveraging on my mentors and coaches to get access to the market. Because these guys already have reputation, they have brands. Okay, so if I had a program and I told them, please, can you appear on my flyer? And they're like, yes, why not? And you put their names you put their faces and their names on your flyer or your emails or your page, something like that. People just get to find out why are they here, and they just want to be with you in that program. Okay, I remember a particular program some years ago. I held in Lagos, and then I had to travel from Abuja to Lagos. I didn't even know anybody in Lagos then. So, but I knew my mentor was in Lagos. So I told him, sir, we're organizing a business excellence summit at Ikeja. We've paid for the venue, we've done this. How many people are coming? I don't know. But I know your face is there. So I know people will come because your face is there. And funny enough, we just got there and the whole place was filled up just because his face was there. And then he came to the program. Just by coming to the program, people just believe that this guy is good. Like April Chebanito is good. If he can get this kind of person to be in this program, no, this guy is good. And some people since afterwards have consistently been in our programs, but my mentor only came to my program like twice or 3 times. He came to Abuja twice, he came to Lagos once, but people still believe that we are good, yes. So we used, I used my mentor to sell my programs, to sell my, most of the things I did. So leveraging on your mentors is key. So can you type in the chat room, mentor, mentor, mentor? Just type in the chat room, mentor. Can you type in the chat room, mentor? Whether you are a public service director, whether you're just an upcoming person, whether you have a job or you don't have a job, you need a mentor. Mentor. The mentor, the guideline for choosing the mentor, the person should be grounded in the area you've chosen, right? The person should be good in that area. The person must have influence in that sphere of niche you've chosen. The person must have influence. Influence, very much important. The person must have influence so that you can leverage on his or her influence to ride on. All right, influence. So all of us need mentors. Every day I try my best to add a mentor to myself. Okay, I consciously work on it. Some of us need, okay, in this public speech of a thing, we need public speech mentors, right? So they end up as public figures. That's the influence you're talking about. These public speech mentors are public figures, all right? Now, listen to me. A coach doesn't need to be a public figure, but a mentor actually needs to be a public figure, all right? Do you get what I just said? Your mentor, your role model, as it were, need to be a public figure to be able to get you that influence that you need. But a coach doesn't necessarily need to be a public figure. A coach's role is to teach you on what to do. For instance, not all, like if I ask you now, who is coaching Cristiano Ronaldo? I don't really know the person. I don't know who knows. Who is coaching Messi? I don't know who knows, but I don't think I know them. Who coached Kanu Nwankwo? I don't think I know the person, but I know Kanu Nwankwo. I know Kanu Nwankwo. I know C. Ronaldo. I know Messi. Okay. Now, if I want a mentor, I can actually go to, if I want to be in football, I can go to C. Ronaldo and say, I want you to be my mentor. What I'm simply saying is that I need you to guide me. Okay. I need you to When I'm confused, you tell me what to do. When I'm going astray, you bring me back. But a coach develops methodological approaches to, first of all, help you build capacity. A mentor necessarily is not about capacity building. A mentor is about showing you the way. Okay, a mentor is about showing you the way. A coach is about helping you build capacity. A mentor is about showing you the way, telling you this is how you ought to do this. This knowledge that you have, put it this way, and then you have results. That skill that you have, put it this way, then you have it. That's a mentor. A coach is, you need this skill to be a public speaker. So let me teach you how to manage this skill, or how to inculcate, develop the skill, right? So you get the difference between the two, right? All right. So as I'm sitting down here, I may be a coach, all right, but not a mentor. So sometimes when people come to me and say, I want you to be my mentor, I actually smile. The question behind my mind is, do I have am I a public figure that can pull the influence that you need? All right. So that is very, very important. So mentor is very, very important. Mentor, and your mentor doesn't need to be older than you. It doesn't need to be your age mate. It can be someone below you, below your age. All right. It doesn't need to be someone older than you. It doesn't need to be someone in your age bracket. It could be someone lesser than you in age. All right. Okay. So that's just that. Then another thing I need us to put in mind, very, very important, you must, every one of us here must put this in mind in this journey, and that is consistency. Consistency. I did not put that, put it there. Consistency. 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 Can you please type that in capital letters in the chat room? Consistency. You can put that in very big capital letters. Consistency. Consistency. You can put that in capital letters. Consistency. All right? Consistency. 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 You see, when you're coming into public speaking as a sole profession, perhaps there is nothing else you're doing. You might be ready to do your crying, whip your whip. In several cases, you might feel like giving up. But one of the things that helped me become consistent, I read through, there's this young man they call Robert Kiyosaki. By now, he's no longer a young man, he's an old man. He writes so much on financial intelligence, financial independence, investing, stocks, and all of that. So everything about him, his own niche of public speech is basically finance, money, 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 money. So I read so much about his books. And then he speaks so much about consistency too, right? So some people start today and they want to start seeing impact today. It doesn't work that way. Okay? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You just have to know when to, when you're expecting your breakthrough, okay, your breakthrough doesn't just come at an instant. It is just drop by drop. As you keep building capacity, keep building value, keep delivering value, then one day you will see that, oh, something just happened. Okay, you know, it took me about 7 years, 7 years for me personally. I don't know about others. The first time I ever made 2-point-something million in a week. Okay, I was involved in a 2-3 days workshop, and I made about 2-point-something million. Okay, it took me about 5 to 7 years of consistency to come to that point that, okay, you can do a program in a day, and then you talk about having some good volume of returns, right? But some people put profit ahead of time, and then when it's not coming, they tell you this is not working. One of of my mentors told me something. He said, Benito, I said, sir, he said, consistency is the rule of the game. I said, sir, how do you mean? He said, even when you're ready to quit, don't quit. He said, consistency. He drummed it into my ear. Okay, I'm drafting from my personal experiences to share with you, right? So that you will not think maybe what we're saying is just like you just start now and then there is a rain. Okay, the windows of heaven will just let loose and there will be rain. Doesn't happen that way. Consistency is the rule of the game. Please, can you type that for me in the chat room? Consistency is the rule of the game. Consistency is the rule of the game. Public speaking is the game. The rule is consistency. Consistency in building value, consistency in building your reputation, your branding, consistency in continuous professional development, consistency in networking, consistency in leveraging, and consistency in being consistent. Okay, so consistency is the rule of the game. The day you leave being consistent, everything starts going down, right? Consistency is the rule of the game. 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 So we all must learn to be what? To be consistent. If you want to be a public speaker, it doesn't just come on you, you work on it. Okay, one of my mentors told me, he said, nothing works until you make it work. Nothing works until you make it work. One of my mentors told me that, and that also helped me a great deal. He said, nothing works until you make it work. Nothing works. If you like, get 100 professional certificates in consulting, in management development, in leadership, in public speaking, in corporate governance, in business development, and at the end of the day, you're not making it work. Nothing works. All right? So nothing works until we make it work. We make it work. So that is very, very important. Nothing works until we make it work. All right? So consistency is the rule of the game. We must be consistent at all times. Consistency in improving on our strategies, consistency in improving on our content, consistency in improving on our techniques, consistency in improving on our methodologies, consistency in research, consistency in critical thinking, consistency in innovation, consistency in creativity, consistency in networking, consistency in marketing, consistency. In fact, you must be consistently consistent. So consistency is the rule of the game. I will go through this again, just by introduction, for the sake of those who are joining us, that joined us very, very early, those that saw the information on time. Okay, so we are just looking at what you're going to focus as a public speaker. Number one, discover your niche. What problem do you want to solve as a public speaker? Don't just be that clanging cymbal that makes the most noise and yet no value to it. All right. Number two, develop value and just be consistent in developing that value. Be consistent in developing your value. All right. Be consistent in developing your value. I will recommend, I think there is some people here have taken the course on business development, but if you've not taken that course in business development, I recommend that you join us in business development course. That's going to be by August 18th to 21st. August 18th to 21st. Yeah. 18, 19, 20 to 21st. Yeah. So you can join us in that course. They will be looking at essentially how do you build value? How do you develop value? How do you distribute value? How do you capture value? Okay. How do you develop value models, value development models? How do you come about value creation? Okay, so we'll look at that in business development. In case you've not taken that course, I will recommend the course to you. All right. And then I spoke so much about brands. Perception is value. In public speech, we pay as we see. It is what we see that we pay for. Do you get what I'm telling you now? God have mercy. You think I'm joking? we pay for what we see. People pay for what they see. People pay for what they see. If they see you as someone who is highly valuable and the knowledge you have, the thing you want to talk about is very indispensable, they will pay you for it. But if they don't perceive it in such a way, no value for you. So the value you capture, the value you receive in form of monetary rewards, in form of honor, in form of respect, in form of influence and all of that, is the brand, the perception you've created among people, among your network, among your market. So we must be deliberate on building our brands. We must be deliberate on building our brands. Very, very deliberate on building our brands. And also in business development, we'll talk so much about business branding, but in this course, we'll talk about personal branding, right? We'll talk about what? Personal branding, all right? So how do you brand yourself to be able to have the right perception? Okay, now we'll talk about continuous professional development. And I said something, I said the day you discover your niche, it'll be easy for you to know the kind of programs to attend, to know the kind of workshops, seminars, the kind of conferences you attend, the kind of courses you take. If you discover your niche, others follow suit. All right, then I spoke about building quality network, building quality relationship, and maintaining it. Maintaining it, build and maintain quality relationships. Remember, I said I have 2 W in that network, so you can keep 1 W. I will take 1, you take 1. Then I spoke about leverage. A whole lot of things we spoke about leverage. Okay, leverage on your value created. Of course, developing value simply means you have to adopt and deploy all levels of innovation possible. Because until your value is distinct from others, people might not look at your side. So your value should be attention seeking. Please type in the chat room, attention seeking. The value you're creating should be attention seeking. Type it in the chat room, attention seeking. Attention seeking. Your value, the value you're creating should be what? Attention seeking. Attention seeking. It must be, I didn't say should be, it must be, if it should be, then you're ready to fight with others in the market. It must be attention seeking, must, not should, must be attention seeking. That means it must be different from others. Okay, it must be different from others. It must be a kind of approach that others have not thought about. So it must be attention seeking, attention seeking, attention seeking. The value you're developing, the solution you're developing must be attention seeking. Very, very important. Very, very important. If it is not attention seeking, other things will take people's attention. You could run Facebook ad from now to the kingdom come and people are not paying attention because it's not attention seeking. It's not capturing attention. What captures attention is not just pictures. Okay, there are myths of innovations you bring to your public speaking engagement that becomes attention seeking. People want to hear you. People want to buy your books. People want to buy your CD. People want to buy your tapes. They just want to sit and have a moment with you. It must be attention seeking. By the time you develop your content and you look at it and there's no attention seeking, go back to your drawing board. Until it becomes attention seeking, don't bring it out. And how do you make them attention seeking? We will discuss that in business development. Those of us that were in business development class, I'm sure you had all the time. So what you need to do, for those of us who were in business development before this class, so what you need to do is apply your business development skills now to your public speech. You will have a whole lot of fun with it. Okay. Someone called me yesterday. I think I saw her this morning. Ola Yemi, she called me yesterday. I hope that one day I will see her. Okay, I saw her in class this morning, but like she's out. She called me and she said she had a project. And the project, she was using an ACA, Organizational Capacity Assessment Framework, for that particular project. And she said the project requires that she use Agile Performance Framework. And then by the time we got talking, she said, okay, does that mean she will have to use a 360 degrees performance framework? I laughed. And I said something to her. I said, I first of all explained the model of OCA, explained the model of Agile, explained the 360 degrees framework. And I said something to her. I said, these frameworks are not absolute. You can modify them to get the results that you want. That's the frameworks, right? Now, what am I trying to say? All of this knowledge we are getting, they are not absolute. They are rather interdependent. You learn from project management, you learn from business development, you learn from marketing, you learn from public speech, then you join them together. You begin to find the right place to put all the sutures to make the best mix of what you want to deliver. Okay, that is very, 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 very important. Okay, very, very important. All right, then you have a good mix of information that you can sell out. Okay, all right, then I also spoke about leverage, where I spoke about leveraging on technology. And I said something about leverage. Leverage, you also need to employ innovation, innovative abilities, creative thinking abilities. Leverage simply means you want to move faster than you are moving. So you need someone or you need something to give you that push. So you need to be creative in moving that push, all right? In moving that push. There was a program, last year we had a program, it was African Leadership Entrepreneurship Summit, African Leadership Entrepreneurship Summit, yeah. That was August last year. The next section of that program will be coming up soon. Now, we had some key guest speakers. We had Professor Ndubisi Ikekwe, who is a consultant to UN. In fact, she serves as a UN ambassador on certain projects, and he is one of the inventors, or he invented the Apple chip. This Apple phone is the one that invented the chip in Apple. He's a young man from Abia State. If he hears me calling him young man, he will soon sue me to court. Okay, he's a professor from Abia State. Now, when we put his name on that program, we saw that I had influence on LinkedIn. We just told him, sir, please, can you help us put this flyer on your page on LinkedIn? We got almost 2,000 people registering for that program. And I know a large percentage of people that registered because they saw his face on that program. Okay, so that's an example of leverage. Okay, that's an example of leverage. Okay, you need to continuously learn to add some face to your public speaking engagement. Add some face, the face that will give you that lift that you need. All right. All right, then I spoke about mentorship, and I spoke about consistency. All right, I spoke about mentorship, and I spoke about consistency. Very, very important. Now, before I move on, do I have any question? Do I have any question? Any question for the son of man? We are just on introductory phase. If you have a question for me, please feel free to ask me. If you have a question for me, please feel free to ask me. Okay, if I should move forward, please can you type 55 in the chat room? If your hand is up, I will unmute you and then take your question. If you have some remarks to make, I will unmute you. But if you think I should move forward, please, you can type 255 in the chat room. All right. 55 in the chat room. Okay, so we're going to go on a little break, and then when we come back, we will just proceed. So in our break, you're going to take this assignment. So you're going to go to our LinkedIn page and then follow us on LinkedIn. And then when you do that, you come to the class and type done. In the next 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Go to, click on the link, go to LinkedIn, follow us on LinkedIn, and come back to this chat room and type done. The first 5 persons that will do that will get a reward from me. Good reward. Public speaking reward. Okay, so the first 5 persons that will type done will take your phone numbers and you get some rewards from us. The first 5 persons. Okay, so if you are done before now, don't worry, you'll get another assignment that you'll be done, and then you get your reward. Dr. Joseph, thank you for getting done before now. Okay, now if you've not followed us on LinkedIn before, so kindly follow us on LinkedIn, and then you come to the class and type done, and then drop your phone number, and then you get your reward. Okay, so I have OK Ketupemeka. Mr. Austin, please can you help me get the numbers, the names and the numbers? Let's get them. So we'll get Hope. So your name and your number. So we'll confirm that you really did following since way back. Okay. Engineer Ahmed, you're welcome. Don't worry, you have a new assignment that you will do. So the first 5 persons will get to have a gift from us. The first 5 persons. So we'll take a short break and we'll be back. All right, well, welcome back. In case you have not liked us on or followed us on LinkedIn, please do so. Okay, so we have Isaac. So Isaac, drop your number. So if you follow us, just type your number, just type done and with your number, and then we'll verify. Following long ago, so thank you for coming. Engineer Timothy Adebisi. Don't worry, Engineer Adebisi will soon get a reward. Okay. Dora long ago, you're welcome. Okay, so let's quickly proceed. Now, whether we are talking in a team meeting or presenting in front of an audience, we all have to speak in public from time to time. And then we didn't say you should drop your number. If you follow long ago, don't drop your number. Okay. Okay. So if you follow long ago, just drop your number. Mr. Austin will send you a call of appreciation. Okay. All right. So for our new members that are joining us for the first time, so perhaps following the link for the first time, just drop your number and then you'll get to hear from us. All right. So whether we are speaking in, okay, can I get someone to read for me, please? Please, if you are led to read for me, cool, facilitate with me, please just raise your hand and I will unmute you so that we do this together. All right, so I have Jason. Honorable Jason, please kindly unmute.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, introduction. Whether we are talking in a team meeting or presenting in front of an audience, we all have to speak in public from time to time. We can do this well or we can do this badly, and the outcome strongly affects the way that people think about us.
Perception.
This is why public speaking causes so much anxiety and concern. The good news is that with thorough preparation and practice, you can overcome your nervousness and perform exceptionally well.
Okay. So that's point number 2. We can do this well, or we can do this badly, and the outcome strongly affects the way that people think about us, perception, and that their thought will determine whether they will bring out money from their pocket to give you or not. Perception. So what you're trading is simply perception, right? Now, why do we consider public speaking as a profession? Please, someone feel free to read for us. You can raise your hand, I will unmute you. Someone else, all right. Honorable Adeyemi, let's hear from you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you all.
Okay, the first one is be a voice, own a brand, respect and honor, gain financial independence, build quality network of persons, build reputation.
Thank you so much. So we'll pick each one of these things and then just tell us something, anyone, just tell us something you understand by any of these components. Be a voice, own a brand, respect and honor, gain financial independence, build quality network of persons, and build reputation. Perhaps if you can explain or tell us what you think with some practical examples, I think that will help us. So I'm going to bring Honorable Adeyemi's hand down. If he brings it up again, then we can allow him. Now, can we have, okay, so just pick one, don't pick more than one, just talk about it. And then I will give some little explanations. I will go. All right, sir, let's hear from you.
Okay, the first one, I'll pick the first one, be a voice.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people have issues they're dealing with. A lot of people have a lot of problems, and they've not been able to put it in context. Once a public speaker can be a voice of those people when he brings them up. People attend seminars, attend meetings, only to hear a new dimension, a new area of what they are actually looking for, and they begin to see solutions or solutions to some of those things they've had in mind. So when you pick a topic and people are gathered to listen to you, they begin to see different dimensions and easy ways to handle their problems. And now, because of what they're having as an issue, they may not even have seen it as a problem, but they really want to hear that thing. The public speaker becomes a voice for them. Then it speaks exactly what comes in their mind or what appeals to their heart. And then these ones can find solutions in easy ways to deal with problems in life. And so this is why a public speaker becomes a voice of people, helps people to speak out what comes from their mind, and then they're able to pour out. People may not even know what they stand to get when they attend such meetings. They only come back to say, wow, this thing has been in my mind. That person has spoken it out. But what did he add to it? Solutions. That is another area.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Honorable Adeyemi, for that. So be a voice. Okay. Be a voice. Can we have someone to talk about any other aspect? Be a voice. As a public speaker, whether you like it or not, you're a voice. Either voice of advocacy, voice of freedom, voice of development, voice of judgment. There must be, you cannot but be a voice. It is that voice that actually makes you a public speaker. Okay, and it's that voice that makes you a public figure. Okay, so can we have someone else? No, I will take someone else. In Honorable Adeyemi, I will take someone else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So can we have 5 persons to talk about the remaining components. I hope we're still together. As a public speaker, own a brand. As a public speaker, respect and honor. As a public speaker, gain financial freedom or financial independence. As a public speaker, build quality network of persons. So let's have someone else talk to us. You're already open to public speaking, as it were. So let's hear from everyone. Let's hear what we have to say. Public speaking. Why do we need to consider public speaking as a profession? Just talk about the importance under any of the headings. Okay, so I have a hand up. Okay, so let's hear from you. Go ahead, sir.
Good.
Mr. Austin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Mr. Kenda, why is
Yes,
your handle Karen IBM International?
Even me too, I'm scared. So I'll not be
Don't worry, you have a brand. You have a brand. Go ahead. All right, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I'm good. Of course, we are picking just one, right? Okay, so let me pick gain financial independence.
Okay, I know you can. Go ahead.
Because all this, in one way or the other, gives financial independence, whether being a voice, being a brand, and having reputation. So we call, let me pick a name, for instance, let's say Muyiwa Folabi. We are picking him if we want him to discuss on a topic and pay him the particular amount, maybe ₦1 million for 1 hour, because he has built a brand. So I'm just trying to say that public speaking, why we must consider public speaking is to gain financial independence. For instance, when it comes to public speaking, you are not in the real sense, you don't have so much overhead cost.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have so much overhead cost. What you might be costing is your time and some few other indirect costs, but direct costs, you don't have it. So you are likely not making loss. Under the financial independence is, when you can pick a particular niche for yourself when it comes to public speaking. You know, let me use myself as an example. I do public speaking, but you know, people, the way I do it is different from how people just believe that until you are well prepared, you are standing on a podium before you start doing public speaking. But you see, those little times that I know so many times that they've called me, look, you just have 15 minutes to make an impression. And for that 15 minutes, we are going to give you maybe, let's say, 20,000 naira. That is a way of also having financial independence. Let's go to even in the religious aspects. There are some religious organizations that when they want to do something, they will have to go and call somebody else to come and persuade the congregation or the audience. Do you understand what I'm saying at all? Can I be heard?
Yes, you're heard loud and clear.
Okay, so public speaking gives a high level of financial independence, and that financial independence is attached to how you've presented yourself, the skills you've possessed, the knowledge, the experience, all that then build and keep you at the top of your pyramid. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, SME doctor. I would have been surprised if you did not use yourself as an example. Financial independence is one of the reasons why we are coming into public speaking, and we could give a million examples to that. Okay, so let's hear from Barrister Defunke. Barrister Defunke, let's hear from you. Barrister Defunke, if you can hear me, kindly unmute.
I have unmuted. Thank you
All right.
very much. I'm going to speak on own a brand.
All right, Ma, go ahead.
Yeah, before you can own a brand, you must have found your niche.
That's right.
And people already know you and what you stand for. So when they are looking for anyone to speak on that particular niche you have chosen, they come running to you. Nothing can convince any other person concerning that particular subject if they have not heard the voice, they have not heard your voice. And also, I'm going to use myself as a point of contact. I've been on the issue of human trafficking for the past almost 20 years.
Human trafficking.
And so, yes, yes, because I was head of human trafficking in Edo and Delta State between 2004 and 2010. And so when they are looking for anybody to speak on this issue, who are traffickers, who are victims, how do you treat victims? How do you arrest traffickers? They know that they can always look for me because I've created that niche for myself. And this doesn't mean that they're going to pay me plenty of money because, you know, as human trafficking is an issue, is a social issue that everybody thinks that we need to have a passion for. We don't necessarily need to seek money for. But that's where I have put myself because I have a passion for the girl child. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barrister Defuke. Okay, this one is NACA. Someone said she's from NACA today, National Agency for Control of AIDS. Maybe they will have something to do with human trafficking too. Maybe you network with them. Let's find out if they will bring it to Abuja to come and talk about human trafficking via NACA platform. Okay, I saw Engineer Timothy's hand. Jide, is he still? Engineer Jide, are you still here or you've gone? Okay, any other person can pick any other. So we've looked at being a voice, owning a brand, gaining financial independence. So can we have someone else talk about respect and honor, quality network of persons and their reputation? All right, and then you're up again. So let's hear from you.
Respect and honor.
Okay.
Now, people have respect for people who are public speakers, generally speaking. They just expect that the much you talk about should be the much advice you could give on matters. And it is generally understood that, for example, if I know I need issues on, I want to hear something on the aspect of management, for example, or let's say, management. The next person that comes to, or the first person that comes to mind, for example, I'll call Dr. Banito because he has been a public speaker on the aspects, he gives trainings on aspects of management to the point of being able to train people to the point of getting certified with the professional certification of PMP. For example, that's an example. So people show respect and honor people, generally speaking, and you don't even have to ask for it. People naturally expect you to be able to give out exactly what they need to hear when they ask you questions. So it ties along with gaining a brand also. I feel those two things tie along for people to recognize you for what you're able to give, the kind of advice you're able to give or the trainings you're able to give, and that you stand by what you actually tell them. They see you practicing. They tend to give you that respect and honor. So whenever people are talking about people who should be respected in so-so area, oh, I know so-so person. If you ask him, he will give you solution. He can train you. He can help you in that area. So it helps you to create that niche for yourself, and which also helps you gain that respect that you have, that you deserve as a public speaker. People naturally expect from you to be a practicer of what you say. So that respect is there, that honor is there. That whenever they want people or someone is found to be respectable in this also area, they mention that name.
It's all right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for talking about respect and honor. Okay, so let's deal with this last two, building quality network of persons and reputation. Who will help us? Who will help us do that very fast? If your hand is up, I will unmute you. If your hand is up, I will unmute you. Okay, Barrister Defunke, you're welcome. So let's hear from you again.
Yes, it's not that difficult. Building quality network of persons. As I said, in the voice or the brand that you have chosen, there are some brands or let us say topics that you cannot do alone, you cannot handle alone. Right now, you just told me that somebody from NACA was around, and that if they were looking for somebody to speak on human trafficking, you can tell them about me. That is the network.
That's right.
Because people working in the field of human trafficking, we are many: the police, the immigration, international organizations like International Organization of Migration, the International Labor Organization. All of us are in this work, and those are quality network. We work together, and we give different services to the to the issue. So that's how to build network.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so finally, reputation. Who will talk on reputation? Okay. Engineer Jide, it's like the network to you out. You're welcome.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. On the aspect of reputation, it's something very important. A lot of people, they love to be respected, they love to be honored, but there are critical ingredients for you to hold on to before you can be respected. When you have a niche and you create a brand and you are respected and honored in your network, a lot of people will want to see the value you are bringing to the table. And when the value is meeting their needs, they will be able to give you appropriate reviews and recommendations that will create more network for you, and you'll be respected for what you do. I want to give an example. Each time I want to travel to a different location, I always like to go on the internet to look at hotel accommodation. But before I can book any hotel, I will look at their reviews. What are people saying about such a place? What are the safety measures in place? What can they do? What can they not do? So before I can now go ahead and book such hotel accommodation. So the same thing applies to individual in our respective profession. When we have this appropriate niche and brand, will be respected, and then will be accorded the required reputation. And reputation also comes with different things. It's a thing of status. When you are respected and you get more offers, you also be financially stable. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Engineer Debussy Timothy, all the way from Lagos. All right, so we've said a whole lot. All of us have said, or the people that have spoken, they've said a whole lot. Be a voice. Someone said, it is only when you discover your niche that you'll be able to be a voice, and I agree. And you said, until you discover your niche before you build a brand, and I agree. And when you be a voice and build a brand and you're delivering value to your brand, then you have respect and honor, I agree. And if you're consistently being a voice, serving as a good brand, and you're delivering consistent value, then you get some of financial returns, which will result in financial independence. And I agree. And also, if you follow suit, you will have to have quality network of people that you can easily access for future engagements. And I agree. And of course, if you have positive reputation, you have positive results in your public speaking. I agree with all of this. So for all my facilitators, thank you. Now there's something I want us to write down. Please write this down. Sustainability in public speaking. Sustainability, write it down. It's not part of my notes, but let's just have that. Sustainability in public speaking. Public speaking. Sustainability. How do you get to be sustainable in public speaking? Public speech. So if you can help, just write the first one. It's just going to be like a diagram. The first one is value creation. Value, just value, and then you put an arrow and put impact, and put an arrow and put profit. Value, arrow, put an arrow, put impact, and then put an arrow and put profit. Value, hyphen or arrow, impact, arrow again, profit. Then underneath, just draw a long arrow from value to profit, and underneath it you put continuous professional development. Continuous professional development. Continuous. If you've done that, can you just type 1 in the chat room? If you've done that, just type 1 in the chat room. You have those 4 elements: value, that was explaining, to impact, and then to profit. If you've done that, type 1 in the chat room. Okay, so if you have it all, you could also type it in the chat room in case someone did not get it. Value, impact, and profit. Value, impact, and profit. And the driver to all of this is continuous professional development. Value, impact, and profit. Value, impact, and profit. And their driver is continuous professional development. Value, impact, value, impact, profit. Value, impact, profit. Value, impact, profit. And the driver is sustainable professional development. Sustainable professional development. Yeah, thank you so much, Barrister Defunke. Yeah. Value, impact, profit. Then the driver is continuous professional development. Okay. So this is just like a summary of all we'll be saying. In public speech, like I said, it's not onions and tomatoes, it's not crayfish and moi moi. It is first of all value. First of all, value. You must be ready to deliver value, right? And then people must begin to feel the impact of this value you're delivering before you talk about making any form of return in terms of profit or the likes. You get what I'm saying? If you mistakenly reverse this order, you might never get to have one speaking engagement for life. But if you follow this order, you will be on the road to laudable speaking engagement, and you might even have to tell some people, oh, sorry, I am booked for this period. Value, create value first. Create value first. There's a whole lot of things I would like to talk about value, but value creation is not really a major core of this course. So I would recommend that you take the business development course, and then we deal with that. Business development is coming up August 18 to 20th, August 18 to 20th. So you can also register for that course and then join us there. We'll have a whole lot of time to talk about value. Right now, when we talk about value, you've created your value. So let's assume that your value, for instance, is advocacy for human trafficking, and you've discovered effective strategies that can be used to reduce advocacy, human trafficking, right? That's a value. But remember, it's a social problem, and the profit cannot be immediate. The return on whatsoever investment you're doing might not be immediate, right? Okay. So how do you land yourself opportunity speaking engagement as a human trafficker? Number one, Remember, you have to be a voice. So you may, SME doctor said something. You don't need to wait for men, they say, come and take up the podium. No, open your own podium for yourself. How do I mean? You can do what? You can start maybe your social media pages, have live sections, free discussion sections on these effective strategies. Invite people, invite quality people who can help in decision making on whether you're going to become a speaker in their platforms or not. So start with what you have, right? Start with what you have. Let people have a taste of the value. Did you hear what I just said now? Let people have a taste of the value. In fact, type in the chat room, taste and see. Taste and see. Type in the chat room, taste and see. Taste and see. That should be your number one strategy. Taste and see. Taste and see. Did you get that? Taste and see. Type it bold, large, capital letter. Taste and see. I hope you're hearing me. Taste and see. Taste and see. Taste and see. Yeah. So your primary approach, your primary strategy is test and see. Test and see. Test and see. That's what you want to have. Now, by testing and seeing, you just want to verify that, yes, you have value, right? And sometimes when we are doing test and see kind of strategy, you want the people to do an evaluation of that value you're giving and decide for themselves whether it is worth it or not. And in IPM, we use test and see a lot. Apart from the fact that our anchor is impact, we always want you to test and see. You decide whether the value is commensurate or not, but we will always test and see. Everyone coming to IPM will always test and see. You know, someone in our last training on business development, I think it was I think one of the trainees, he said it was this test and see that got him trapped in IPM. And another person said even him is now that he came to do a free course, but now he's trapped. Okay, so remember, your value must be what? Attention seeking. If you have that attention seeking and solution driven, then when people come to test and see, there's only one thing that will happen. They will stick. They will stick. They will stick there. They will stay. All right? They will stay. So your primary focus should be on value first. Make sure that the value is attention seeking. The value is solution driven. And then have effective strategies to delivering this value and let the people test and see. By the time they test and see that, wow, this is what it is, then we'll now begin to talk about the impact of their test and see. It is that impact that will determine if they will dip their hands into their pocket to say, okay, we'll support this your humanitarian assignment, we'll support this your project, we'll support this your assignment, and the like. So test and see first. Test and see whether our value is what you want. And then have a way of checkmating for impact. Okay, have a way of what? Checkmating for what? For impact. All right, and then be rest assured that profit will come. I say again, if you reverse this as a public speaker, if you reverse this, you put profit, value, impact, you will never see anybody. You will never see any. If you reverse this order, you remain where you are for life. But if you have the right order, you will always have a way of getting to your market. All right, that's very, very important. All right, do I have a question? We're gradually rounding up for today. We're just on introduction. I want you to have the best of time. So by the time we come tomorrow, we have full-fledged time discussion. Good. We'll be looking tomorrow. We'll be looking at more of methodologies, techniques. We'll be looking at content development. And then by the time we round up on Sunday, we'll be doing facilitation. You have a public speech. You develop your content and present so that we can see what you've done. Okay. All right. Any question for me? Question, comment, question, observations, questions? All right, so public speaking is, in this era we are, public speaking is the opportunity. It is not an opportunity, it is the opportunity. It is the opportunity. We are in an era of information dissemination at its highest pace. So many of us keep gathering this information, keep gathering. One of the easiest ways to start disseminating this information and start making livelihood out of it is through public speaking. So the mic is before you. Whatever you do with it is your choice. The mic is before you. Whatever you do with it is your choice. All right? The mic is before you. What you do with it is your choice. But I will reiterate, public speaking in this age and time is the opportunity. Anything you're doing now, please make sure you turn yourself a public speaker in that area. If you're a lecturer, become a public figure lecturer. If you're a public servant, become a public figure, a public speaker in that area. Let's assume that you are a director of administration in a public service organization. Why don't you start something like a page to talk about public administration in public service? Do you know what happens? By the time you get some level of awareness in what you're doing, when government want to talk about maybe improving public service or public administration, they know who to talk to. There is no public speaker today in public service that does not have public pages, Facebook page, YouTube page, and websites and all of that. But they were once in the background, or they were once among the spectators, but through rediscovering the abilities they have in public speech, they are now in the limelight. So if you're a director in the public sector, try to, in fact, having to be a public speaker in that your area that you're a director is to confirm that yes, you're really qualified to be there. Okay, and then when appointments begin to come up, they know who to appoint. Not that you'll be submitting CV upon CV, submitting paper upon paper. They'll be searching and searching. We are all here in Nigeria, right? Some people, government will leave some of us in Nigeria and go as far as people in Ghana, in Cameroon, Nigerians in diaspora, and bring them back to Nigeria to come and solve certain problems. Why? Because those people were public where they are. They were contributing through public speeches. You see them on YouTube, you see them on Facebook, you see them on Twitter. They were always speaking about that particular problem. And government have no other option than to call them. The same group of people, private firms call them, right? So if you are a director here, I'm giving you a challenge. Become a public speaker in that area you're directing. If you hear what I just said now, just type 1 in the chat room. If you heard what I said now, the mic is before you. You do with it whatever you wish. If you want to use the mic, it's open. If you want to leave the mic as it is, it's also there. But just know that public speaking is the opportunity. Some of us that are directors, now listen to me. If you want to become a DG, if you want to start working towards becoming a DG, becoming a PAMSEC, gaining some kind of appointment, start building force, start building public speaking force. Don't turn down any opportunity to be a public speaker. Get your YouTube pages live. Get your, what do you call it now? Get your, Facebook pages, create a web page if you can. Get your LinkedIn pages live. Get your Instagram page live. Now, once in a while, remember, we said consistency. Let's assume you are a director of policy and strategy development, assumedly, right? And then you have a page, maybe Dr. Evans public administration page or national administrative page, right? And then once in a while, you come up with sensitive discussionary topics and throw them open. You can do them online. Remember, SME doctor said, public speaking does not really have so much overhead cost. It doesn't. It doesn't really have so much, dependent on the strategy you're using, it doesn't really have so much overhead cost. Start talking about policy, national development, leadership development, effective transforming civil service to become a more effective and efficient delivery system. Start talking about them. When the head of civil service wants to talk about transformation agenda, he knows who to talk to. Okay, so use the network you have now to make the most of the opportunity. The mic is just before you. If you are an MDCO, start speaking about what your company does. Make some sort of separation. So let's assume your company talks about, or your company produces paint. So why don't you have a page? Maybe you talk about how to choose the best paint, how to get advisory on paint production, how to know which paint is good for in-house and the one good for outdoor, how to just teach them how to, as concise to paint, give them advisory. By the time they come looking at your page, the next time you make a recommendation, buy so page, they will buy. When we say, and let me go back a little, sometimes when we say these things, I need you to understand this thing. Listen to me now. Need to understand this. Be a voice, number one. If you consistently be a voice that people will rely on, you end up becoming an ambassador and you get to earn big being an ambassador. Let me give you an instance. Basketmat is an ambassador of people like Mortina, Glow, and all of that. When they go to their shows, they make jokes with all of those products and all of that, and then they gather multitudes for these companies. All right? Ronaldo is a voice. Messi is a voice, and that's why you see them as different sorts of ambassadors in different cases. So if you want to be a voice, or if you want to be an ambassador, then start being a voice. Professor Ndubisi Ikepe, when he narrated on his LinkedIn page that he's now an ambassador to UN or so projects in Nigeria, I smile, because he's always talking, he's always speaking, he's writing, he's speaking, he's talking. So UN have no option than to locate him and say, I think in Africa, that person is a good choice for us. You might not know the value that you're putting out there by your consistent speaking on that matter, by your consistently writing on that matter, by your consistently engaging on that matter. All right, very, very important. And then when you own a brand, let me give you examples of owning a brand. If you have a Facebook page, assuming you have a Facebook page, a LinkedIn page, or whatever page you have, and then you have increasing number of subscribers or followership on that page, you are automatically owning a public brand. If you have a product today and you say, IIPM, please help us send this product to your subscribers. We have close to 12,000 subscribers, right? Now, if we send to 12,000 subscribers, we can guarantee you of at least 500 sales. And in that case, you can say, okay, IPM will be your ambassador, right? Because we have what? A brand that is being respected. All right, so all of these things have an interlink, okay? They all have an interlink, all right? So let me go back to the other words. So that is just that. We can make do with what we are learning, or we can make use with what we're learning, or just hope that someday one miracle will happen. Okay, so let me look at this. In the next couple of minutes, we'll be rounding up. We will not be taking attendance today, but we'll be taking attendance tomorrow. For the sake of those who might wish to go for certification, we'll be taking attendance. And of course, you know that if you're going for certification, the 3 days is mandatory for you. You have to attend for the 3 days. Now, the speech communication process for every public speaker, you need to understand the speech system, right? So the message starts from the speaker, and the speaker's work is to is to identify his niche, identify the value he's creating. So the message starts from him. And then from identifying his niche and the problems associated with it and the value becomes the message that he wants to pass across. So whatever he's communicating is the message, and that's the value he's passing through. And then find the best channel to put up your message, right? Now, you don't need to go and hire 500,000 hall because you want to become a public speaker. No, most of these people refer to as public speakers. It will surprise you that some of them don't pay a dime for their physical public speeches, right? But they get to leave those venues with their pockets filled with money. All right, but you can start with the best appropriate channel, the most appropriate channel for you. Like in IPM, you see us, most often we use the online approach to our communication. Maybe in the whole year, we can have like 4 physical contacts, but we can have more than 20 online trainings. In fact, we can have them serially. From January to December, we have training all through online. But physical contact, we just make sure that we don't go accruing so much cost. And now that in the whole economy, global economy is bleeding, it's not the time that you want people to spend too much because they want to get to here. You know, you have to find the best channel. Is it your Facebook channel? If you want to make it a completely free engagement, Facebook doesn't charge you a dime to host a meeting like this. Instagram doesn't charge you a dime to host a meeting like this. LinkedIn doesn't charge you a dime to host a meeting like this. Google does not charge you a dime to host a meeting like this. So you can find the best channel that you want to start building your brand on and make that your own channel for discussion. Now, one thing with having the most appropriate channel is that you can easily engage with your clients. Okay, and in this era we are not in an era that you must know everybody that knows you. No. Okay, that's part of building the reputation and building quality network of persons. You don't need to know everyone that knows you. Okay, you don't need to know everyone that knows you. As a public speaker, in fact, you know less people and you have more people knowing you. Okay, you have less people to know and more people knowing you, right? So very, very important. Find the most appropriate channel. Is it WhatsApp? You can use WhatsApp, right? That's very, very important. And then you also understand the listener, the audience that you're speaking to. I've said it before, the kind of audience you have will determine the kind of delivery technique you're going to be using in addressing the audience. The kind of audience you have will determine the kind of environment you use. Okay, we are planning for the annual induction program that is coming up in from November 28th to December 2nd. So in case you have not yet been fully inducted into the institute, please be preparing yourself. So we went to this particular venue, wonderful venue, very, very big venue. And the whole seat was like the aeroplane seat, right? Cozy, lovely, and wonderful. So I told the person that went with me, I said, looking at the kind of audience we have, if we give them this kind of seat, they might end up sleeping and lose connection with the speaker. Right? Yes, the environment is lovely, the environment is great. And now we are beginning to think, so what kind of activities can we do here so that, yes, this environment is cozy, that's a perfect place we want to use for 2022 induction. So what kind of activities can we put here so that these people will not sleep? So you understand your audience, you understand the kind of environment to put them in, you understand the kind of techniques and strategies and methodologies to use in administering so that you have effective delivery. Very, very important. Then you have your feedback. No matter what you do as a public speaker, you must have a feedback mechanism. When you're done with any of our program, we'll always tell you to give us a 5-star review on Google. That is a feedback mechanism for us. Not just 5-star review. Give us, 5-star rating. Give us a review. Tell us your experience. That is what people will have to look at and know whether they want to interface with this institute or not. So whenever you come to our program, feel free to give us that 5-star rating and 5-star review. Just say something. Okay, I attended public speaking course with this. It was a lovely experience. I attended project management. If you have attended a course before and then you're attending a new one, I just attended another course on public speaking. It was wonderful. I would recommend anyone interested should please find this place, a lovely place to do the training on public speaking or whatever course. That is part of feedback. So build, please, let me say this. Yes. In the era we are not in an era that you just get feedback and go and put it on your desk or put it in your locker, put it under the shelf and say, yes, people just said something nice. No, review. Engineer Jide said something. He said, whenever you want to travel, you will go and take review of those hotels that you want to lodge, and then be sure that that's where you want to go. So importantly, those feedback shouldn't just be under your table. They shouldn't be in the shelf. Put them online. Find an interactive system of feedback. Not only you need the feedback, the person that want to buy your next product, the person that want to engage you for the next speaking engagement, want to know how far you've done with others. Very, very important. So create interactive feedback systems, evaluation systems, right? Then also check for interference. Is there anything that hindered you from delivering effectively? Okay, find out those challenges and fix them before your next engagement. And then also check out for situations. I just gave an example now. The place we want to do, the most preferred place right now, we want to take the 2022 annual conference, right? The place is lovely. It's cute. In fact, we love that place. But the situation there is that these people the place, in fact, if you just sit down, if you might be tempted to just sleep up and say, let me rest for a moment. And then by the time you know it, you wake up and say, class is over. You say, what happened? When did I start? All right. So we are already beginning to rethink what strategies can we use. Do we need to put protocol officers all around so that when people do like they are meditating, maybe we'll ask them, sir, please, have you taken bitter cola? Or we get them bitter cola to eat, or get them sweets to be moving their mouth so that we're sure that they are still part of this program. All right. So check out for situations, check out for timeframes, check out for environmental issues that can affect your presentation and deal with them. All right. Okay. Now, opportunities that arise most often in public speaking. At work at the university, you have opportunity for selling your ideas, technical presentations like research, customer presentations in the workplace and reviews, Viva presentations like your audio presentations, visual presentations, competitions and debates. These are part of public speech, right? Now, in your daily life, you have school board meetings, town zoning board meetings, PTA meetings, Boys and Girl Scout meetings, housing society meetings. You have your own board meetings, staff meetings, and several other meetings, church meetings, mosque, religious meetings, and all of that. But outside of this, which one is your own? Let's look at this. This is where we will round up for today. Now, I'm going to give us 2 minutes break. And when we come back, we will run. Don't go anywhere because this is where the cocoa of the matter is. But now you have to give us a review on Google. So please kindly visit our Google page and give us a review on Google. Give us 5-star rating on Google and at least say something nice about us. Okay. So I'm going to give us 2 minutes to do this. And then when we come back, we will be rounding up with this section. So don't go anywhere. This is where the bulk of the matter is. And if we get this done, so we'll look at contemporary opportunities. Contemporary opportunities in public speech. So when you're done giving us a review, if you've given us a review before, just say something nice, add to what you've said before. If this is your first time of giving us a review, just give us a 5-star review and say something nice. And when you're done, just come back to the chat room and click done or say done. All right. So we'll be back in a few moments. Thank you. All right, thank you so much and welcome back. If you've not given us a review, please do so. Use the review link. Thank you so much, Barrister Dave Funke, for the review. Say something nice about us. Give us 5-star rating and then say something beautiful about us. Okay. Quickly, let me make this announcement again. Lockups August 11th to 13th, we'll be having our corporate governance consulting course. So if you want to go into corporate governance consulting, please feel free to join us August 11th to 13th. Now, corporate governance deals more with how to structure your business, how to manage business risks. Importantly, how do you manage your board of directors? How do you manage your board of trustees? How do you manage your investors? How do you plan for succession? How do you plan for business continuity? Okay, how do you structure your business mentoring and coaching program? How do you structure human capital development for business sustainability? How do you manage shares? How do you manage shares? How do you know the kind of legal structure for your business incorporation. Okay, so all of the business structuring, legal structure, managing your board of directors and board of trustees, scheduling stakeholder meetings or board of directors meetings, and all of that, business continuity, risk management, policy frameworks, and all of that. We'll be taking that course August 11th to 13th. So please, it's a consulting course. So if you have interest in corporate governance consulting, you want to help people come out of business problems, okay, you can come into consulting. Or perhaps you want to know how to structure your own business so that it doesn't collapse, okay, you can also join us in that course. And then 18th to 20th of August, we'll be having business development. That is a general purpose course for everyone. So how do you turn your skills to money-making ventures? How do you build productive entrepreneurial ventures? Okay, how do you conduct idea analysis, opportunity analysis, business analysis? How do you develop business models? How do you do product development? How do you go into value creation? How do you engage in systems and resource optimization, and several others? How do you consult? You get to learn that in business development consulting. If you have a business already, this is a course for you. If you're prospecting to start a business, then this is the right time to do this course. Now, if you are currently working and you want to learn more about business, product development, systems optimization, maybe you are head of business development unit, or you pilot business development, or you are into marketing, customer service, then this course is for you. Or you're into operations, then business development is for you. So you join us August 18th to 20th, all right? And then by September 3rd to 24th, yes, September 3rd to 24th, sorry, August 23rd to 27th, we'll be having the Global Human Resource Management Foundation course, Global Human Resource Management Foundation course. So in case you want to be certified as a Global Human Resource Manager or Global Human Resource Management Professional, you could join us August 23rd to 27th. So you have your HR Foundation certificate. Then by September 3rd to September 24th, you have your, okay, September 23rd to 27th, you also have the associate certification. So in case you have done our basic foundation course in HRM and you want to go to the associate level, 23rd to 27th, we'll also be taking that course. Project Management Professional comes up 29th of August to September 3rd. That's for associate certification, certified associate project management professional. And then Office Management and Administration, certified office management and administration. We have that coming up September 5th to September 9th. All of these programs are online, so you can learn from your workplace. All right. Then for senior programs, we have the Senior Global Human Resource Management coming up September 3rd to September 24th. And then we'll have the Lead Project Management Professional. In case you've done your Associate Project Management Professional course before, you can join in the Lead Project Management Professional course, Lead Project Management Professional course, yeah, starting September 3rd to September 24th. Our Emotional Intelligence course, which is everybody's course, Emotional Intelligence course, starting from directors to heads of department, to MD, CEOs, to every other person. The Emotional Intelligence course, we are running the executive program, executive level of it. So from October 4th to October 6th, and it's going to be online, October 4th to October 6th. And then Chartered International Management Consultant, that is done in collaboration with Chartered Institute of Management Consultants, USA. So if you want to get chartered in management, international management consulting, then you can join us October 11th to 14th. And these are the programs, remaining programs we have. Then induction 2022 annual conference and induction comes up November 28th to December 2nd, and is here in Abuja. So you can start planning towards that. November 28th to December 3rd. Now, whether you're attending online or offline, please note the fee is the same. So the choice is yours. The annual conference and induction comes up November 28th to December 2nd. All right. Thank you so much for paying attention to all of those announcements. Okay. So let's round up. Contemporary opportunities in public speaking. Public speaking is not as it used to be before. You mustn't be a preacher to be a public speaker now. You mustn't be an imam. You mustn't be a head of a department. You mustn't be a public figure or whatever. Public speaking has taken new dimensions, and that is evolutionary from digital adoptions, digital disruptions and adoptions. So you could be a public speaker from your house. You could be a public speaker from anywhere you are. Okay. Some time ago, I think it was earlier this year, someone joined our course online, and after the course, he chatted me up privately, and he said to me, he said that he has never seen me before. I said, yes, of course, me myself, I've never seen you before. He said that he saw our advert online, and then he came and announced, or he was talking to someone about it, that he's trying to take this course from this. He said, the person that will teach you, the person he was telling was not telling him, the person that will teach you in this course is Mr. Banito. He said, he asked, who is Mr. Banito? The person that was sitting behind him said, you don't know Mr. Banito? And he said a good number of the staff within knew about IPM, but he was just knowing it for the first time. So when we talk about public speaking today, it doesn't mean you must be at the face of everyone physically. It can be done in any other way, but we must start with the needful. So the needful number one is to do a needs assessment. And I will just make simple statements here and we'll round up. Needs assessment, make sure that whatever area, whatever niche that you want to focus on has a problem to deal with. Pertinent problems that people are willing to solve, right? So there must be needs assessment, critical needs assessment. Whether you're doing humanitarian services, profit-oriented services, whatever one you're doing, and must involve public speaking, please make sure that it has a need to be addressed. And in doing this assessment, please make sure you quantify this need. Make sure you do what? Quantify this need. The much, the merrier. The larger, the merrier. If the need assessment report shows that this need is sustainable and it has large volumes of people who are in this need, then you might have something to talk about. Okay, you might have something to talk about. Whether it is NGO you want to go into, profit making you want to go into, whatever one you want to go into, please make sure there is what? Good needs assessment. Good needs assessment. By tomorrow, we'll take all these things one after the other and then do thorough practical work on them, on how to come up on your niche, come up with a need, define need that you want to go into. Then the next one is do SWOT analysis. Do SWOT analysis on yourself. Do SWOT analysis if you have a company or your company and find out if you have the capacity to meet up with that identified need. If you do SWOT analysis and you notice that there is a gap in your skills, in your competencies and your knowledge, then you have to boost up those skills, or you collaborate to be able to meet up with solving the needs that you identify. Then the next one is your feasibility study. There has been this conflict between needs assessment and feasibility study. Some people will tell you needs assessment is the same as feasibility study. No, needs assessment is finding out if this problem really exists. This need, does it really exist? Feasibility study is it workable? Feasibility simply means, is it workable? And if someone is asking the meaning of SWOT, SWOT simply means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you do your strengths analysis, weakness analysis, opportunities analysis, and threat analysis. In tomorrow's class, we will do both SWOT analysis and TOWS analysis. So if we turn this upside down, we have what we call TOWS, like we write it. So if you look in the chapter, you will see what I just posted there. So you have SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. Then you also have TOWS, threats, opportunities, weaknesses, and strength. So in SWOT analysis, you need to do the two dimensions of the internal dimension of SWOT and the external dimension of SWOT. So in the internal dimension of SWOT, that's what we really call the SWOT analysis. In the external dimension, doing SWOT analysis from outside in, we call it TOWS. Threats, opportunities, weaknesses, and strength. If we are doing SWOT analysis inside out, then we have the SWOT: strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So going back to feasibility study, needs analysis is finding out if this problem really exists. Feasibility study is finding out the marketability, the business viability of that need that you've identified. Very, very important. And then lastly, learn to explore the online environment. Very, very important. So if you've done your needs assessment and the need exists, you've done your feasibility, the market exists, and you've done your SWOT, you have the capacity to deal with. Please explore the online environment first before trying the physical. Before trying to rent an office, don't use your gratuity and pension to go renting an office now. Don't use that little money you have to go renting an office now. Just start with building online pages, online social media pages. Get well from there. You will generate money from there, and then you could do a balance. All right. Now, this is where we're going to call it today for today. Any question, any comment, any contribution? Wow, I dealt with 15 pages in almost 3 hours. Wow. And I have 53 pages for my first course. That means tomorrow I will take another 15 pages. Okay, any question, any comment, observations? We are taking assignment, or we are taking, what do you call it? We're taking attendance tomorrow. So let me quickly remind us of what we want to do here in this course. By the end of this course, you'll be able to discover your niche area in public speaking, develop your competencies, your speaking, public speaking competencies and skills, master professional speaking, public speaking delivery techniques, build confidence, conquer stage fear, effectively manage your audience irrespective of size, create public speaking quality content, apply effective marketing strategies for public speaking contents, and then craft irresistible proposal letters. And then I also said we will also be dealing with branding, personal branding. So you'll be able to know how to build positive perception of yourself. In the course content, we'll be looking at the overview of public speaking, mastering public speaking skills and competencies, and then emotional intelligence in public speaking, building confidence. I saw one of our facilitators here today, one of the faculty members, Pastor Ifoma Izzy. I don't know if she's still in this class. Okay, so she will be the one taking us on emotional intelligence tomorrow. Then building confidence, mastering the effective stage and audience management, content development, public speaking delivery methods, proposal development, effective marketing, and then we have branding. Other announcements. Please, let's have this clarity of information, because sometimes after we are done with programs, people keep writing to us, I attended the course and I've not gotten the certificate. And that shows that they just came to register their presence and they were not there. Now for this course, it was meant to be pay before service, but now we turned it the other way around. So take the service, build your capacity. If you think it's worth it, you pay for the certificate. So the course is free for attendance. Certificate is optional at discounted rate. No examination is required, but you have to be at least in the 3 days class, all right? And you have to partake in all the assignments and the group work. So by tomorrow, we'll start our group work. Certificate to be issued is Certified Public Speaking Professional, and the date is 5th to 7th of August. 11 a.m. daily, except for Sunday, then we'll have 3 p.m. Now, the certification fee for members is $50,000 or $100. For non-members, is $65,000. Payment should be made to the account on the screen. If you're within Nigeria, the GT account Now, if you're outside of Nigeria, please use the link as displayed on the screen, paystack.com/pay/IPM. Now, to access we will allow day 1 and day 2 for free. To access the day 3, please, there must be a minimum commitment of 15,000 naira for members, or $30 for non-Nigerians. If you're Nigerian and you still wish to pay in dollars, you're welcome. Then non-members will pay 20,000 naira or $40. The payment link is as displayed at paystack.com/pay/IIPM. Okay, so your payments can start rolling in now. Okay, so those are just the basic announcements we need to pass. Tomorrow we commence with our attendance. Any question, any comment, any contribution? We'll take just a few minutes to take questions, comment, contributions, and then we will call it a day.